Okay, so as I told you at the top of the hour, my friends Paul and William Murphy own Murphy's Funeral Home, and I am constantly asked, patch him through, please. I am constantly, Paul, great to hear your voice.
Oh, Michael.
I'm constantly asked by my listeners out there, Paul, and thank you for your time. We know your time is valuable. So Murphy's Funeral Home, been a client of ours for 20 years. It helps that he's a good Irish boy. But my callers call in and say, look, it wasn't my fault. My DNA was wrong. I can't find life insurance to cover my funeral. What options do I have? Well, I've got the funeral guru on the phone. Paul, what are some of the options my listeners can do to secure their funerals?
Well, besides life insurance, people can prepay with a funeral home, and what we do is we put the money in a trust, and the trust is held by a trust company, earns interest, and it's a safe vehicle. It's endorsed by the Connecticut Funeral Directors Association, and people can prepay their funeral. They can make their selections and guarantee it, and know that their wishes will be carried out.
And you obviously keep those records on file and transfer them to the children and whatever heirs it is, correct?
Oh, sure. And we would suggest that when people do make arrangements, they let their family know what they're doing, and certainly hope they will be involved in it, and so everybody's on the same page. And there's advantages to it because it relieves the people's mind that they know their wishes are going to be taken care of and carried out, and it helps their family know that they have less to worry about at a difficult time.
Right. And what really struck me was the irrevocable trust can be pre-funded up to $5,400. Has that risen, or is that the general statute still sticking with $5,400?
Well, it's stuck to $5,400.
Okay.
But what they've done, what the legislature's done, is allow you to open a second account, which is called a cemetery burial plot allowance trust, and you can put into that account any cemetery-related expenses, excuse me, such as grave opening, even a casket or an urn,
nice,
or a burial vault, which most cemeteries require, or monument, anything regarding the cemetery. So between the two accounts, you can assure that your expenses are covered, because for a somewhat traditional funeral, $5,400 unfortunately is not going to be enough to cover everything.
No.
There are a lot of options. You can certainly have some funeral arrangements that can be covered by 54, but if you're thinking of a full service funeral, chances are it's going to be a little bit more than that. So the two trusts together allow you to do that, and the money is safe and protected. So if people are applying for Medicaid or Title 19, they won't be considered assets that would prevent them from qualifying for those benefits.
They're not garnishable at all.
Correct.
Beautiful.
Correct. Yeah, and
the
trust works out good. And when people prepay the money stays in the trust. It earns some interest. That's how the funeral home can guarantee that it will do it for that price at a future time.
Mm-hmm.
And so it works out. It works out well for the funeral home, and obviously for the people who are taking care of their own needs.
And you and I spoke. Obviously, I can't say that attorney's name, but I do trust that attorney as well. She is a very good attorney. What should I bring when I meet with my attorney or caseworker? How do people do this? Do they come to see you and William? What's the avenue? How do people get this started?
Well, there's two reasons people prepay. Some people might do it just because they want to ease their own mind and know that things are going to be done as they want. The other thing is, which I think more you're indicating, for people trying to spend down money so they can qualify for benefits. And a lot of times a visit to an attorney is a good idea because they can advise you on, everybody's needs are different, and advise you what you need to do. But when it comes time to prepay the funeral, you have to go to a funeral director. And there's two contracts that we have. One is the irrevocable, pre-need funeral service contract. Mm-hmm. And the other is a revocable pre-need cemetery and burial space contract. In between the two, the funeral can be funded. And you would bring those to your attorney, and you would bring those to the caseworker with the state. They're going to want to see that, and they're going to want to see how the money is being spent, because there are rules, as I said, how it can be allotted.
And obviously, my listeners are 42,000 plus strong, and the board's lit up today. So, how can people reach out to you and have you guide them along this way?
Well, Our phone number is 203-753-4134, and we've been in business over 60 years in Waterbury.
Oh, so, you're a beacon on Willow Street over there.
So hopefully we think we have a good reputation, and our website, if somebody is not familiar with us and they just want to take a look at us and our facility and see what we're about, it's www.murphyfuneralhomect.com, and that kind of gives an overview of our place and what we're about.
Well, I hate to talk about it, but unfortunately it's inevitable. And this is a Medicare and You show. So, Paul, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your time and educating my listeners out there.
Thanks, Mike. I know it is not a topic a lot of people like to talk about, and understandable, but sometimes it is good to plan for the future.
And unfortunately, that's my job.
All right.
All right. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. If you'd like to watch previous broadcasts of Medicare and You that you missed maybe 2 weeks ago, you couldn't catch Mike's broadcast, that's okay. It's currently live right now on WATR's YouTube page. If you go to your computer and go to the internet and type in www.watr.com, at the bottom of the page is a big red YouTube button that'll take us to WATR's YouTube page. And previous broadcasts of Medicare and You are all there for you to watch on your own schedule.
Well done, my friend.
And if you'd like to email Mike a question, you can email him, being HIPAA compliant, of course, at WATR Medicare and You, all one word, at gmail.com.
Okay, beautifully done. All right, so 1 minute. I saw the 1 minute.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Out there, HR directors listening, start getting healthcare reform compliant. It's very simple. Just call the office. Jean's a genius. She's smarter than I am. She got her 100 on her federal exam, so she'll be able to educate you. Kristen, Angela, they'll field your calls. Don't call my dad, Bill. He's on a cruise for 3 weeks now. It's 203-757-6099. We can easily send you out a little bullet list that we've been working on. And again, I do not want to plagiarize myself. If there's something from the Act that's written in there, I will put on every page ACA, with the date. I don't want any trouble. And by the way, Ange, thank you. A friend of mine, an employee of mine, said, look, you can't be writing other people's stuff. I go to college. I'm a Dean's List student, so don't get yourself in trouble. And I respect that. I really do. The Medicare, anyone aging in, like the lovely lady called in, give yourself time. If you haven't received your Medicare A and B, get on it. I've been going down to the office, a good client of mine in Cheshire. She didn't even realize she had to turn her Part B on. The government's not going to automatically do it. So be proactive. Call the Social Security Department. Call Medicare. Find out what your benefits are. You don't want to be in a situation where you're going to get a penalty. Also, if you're still working, don't worry. You will be given 63 days when you retire officially to secure coverage. And from the bottom of my heart, Stephanie, Phyllis, it's great to see you, and thanks for having so much in the studio for today. March 13th, 2013, another great episode of Medicare and You. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.